I am a young woman of 26, proud of my unique blend of African and British heritage. My light caramel-colored eyes reflect a mix of influences. My light-skinned complexion comes from my Caucasian grandfather, while my father, an African American, gifted me his lamb's woolly, curly hair and full lips. With a slender figure, I have a penchant for skirts, dresses, and stylish shoes that express my personality. My reading list is filled with cozy murder mysteries, autobiographies, and romance novels, offering me an escape into different worlds beyond the housing projects in Southeast Washington, D.C. I have a particular fondness for Revlon's iconic red nail polish and lipstick, which add a splash of color to my life. Dreaming of strutting down the runway as a fashion model, I've adorned the wall of my bunk bed area with pictures of my favorite models: Naomi Campbell, Eamon, Janice Dickerson, Linda Evangelista, and Cindy Crawford. Coco Chanel is my ultimate fashion influencer. Currently, I share a small two-bedroom home with my mother and 3 siblings, making our cozy space feel even more intimate. It was time for me to break free from my mother's rules and those living conditions. I yearned for an apartment. I needed a full-time job to achieve that. I felt ready to enter society, and a job was my ticket to independence. My goal was to land a position in the federal government. The women in the housing projects who had government jobs inspired me. I watched as they moved from the projects into beautiful apartments and houses. I wasn't sure how to secure a government job, but I knew I had to start somewhere. Inspired by a book I had read, I set my sights on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., as my launching point in the pursuit of employment. I, Mia Z. Edwards, had broken my curfew and was quietly slipping through the unlocked back door of our small home. The lingering smell of cannabis, tobacco, and beer clung to me, and I was terrified of waking my mother, who was peacefully asleep on the sofa bed in the living room. When I entered our home at 2 a.m., my heart raced with fear as I turned the doorknob at the back entrance. I slipped inside, locked the door, and silently crossed the small kitchen floor. Hearing my mother's snores, a wave of relief washed over me. I knew I could sneak past without disturbing her deep slumber. I ascended the squeaky stairs, 10 flights leading to the hallway where my siblings slept. At the top of the stairs, it was there. It filled me with shame and guilt when I was under the influence of beer and cannabis. It haunted me. Its impact couldn't be escaped. The words on the plaque glowed in the dark, reaching out to my spirit, making it impossible to overlook them. The wooden plaque displayed the Lord's Prayer, a constant reminder on the wall. Taking a shower was out of the question, as it would wake everyone in the house. Finally, I reached the bedroom door. Once inside, I quietly undressed and slipped into the lower bunk bed, naked. My sister, Phyllis, stirred awake and warned, "Girl, Mom's going to get you for staying out late on a weekday." I remained silent. Once in bed, I retrieved the novel The Washington Fringe Benefit by Elizabeth L. Ray and a small flashlight from under my pillow. Ray's story inspired me to seek work on Capitol Hill. My brother gave me that book to read when he returned from Germany. His ticket out of the housing projects was the U.S. Army. In this eye-opening read, Ray revealed her scandalous encounters with not one, but 2 U.S. congressmen. However, engaging in illicit affairs with influential government officials was the last thing on my mind. Instead, I saw an opportunity to transform my circumstances by pursuing a career on Capitol Hill, a chance to liberate myself from the clutches of the projects, carve out a comfortable existence for myself, and be independent of any reliance on a man. I read until I drifted off to sleep. Before I fell into a deep slumber, I thought, I need to iron my black skirt suit and white blouse for that job interview at the U.S. Supreme Court on Capitol Hill in the morning. Thanks for listening to Mia Z. Edwards' Diaries. Memoir Mischief Never Sleeps. See you tomorrow.